Uncertain podcast. My name is Bree. I am your host, where we talk about all things being young and uncertain and everything in between. Oh, I'm so excited. This is episode 4. And yeah. So let's just give off like a little rampant of like just what's all finna happen today. So we're gonna talk about my home warming update. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. Therapy, what is womanhood, content creating, and a little bit about solo versus isolation. Because I feel like we really kind of need to talk on that. And then we're going to have like a cute little, fun little Q&A at the end. All right, so let's just hop on to it. So, I know y'all remember last episode, I was having a home warming, right? Right? Um, and let me tell you, it wasn't bad. I don't have anything bad to say about it. But I have realized that my family, they're going to make it difficult for you. Like they're not easy. They're not cooperative at all. Um and yeah, and that's the sucky part about it. But I also realized like now that this is my home, I can have whoever I want to have in my house. So if I feel like people are just being uncooperative or they just can't get in line, your ass just ain't gonna come. I'm sorry. It's just that. So just strictly that. But I love them to death. I understand. The older I get, you have to understand that people are just kind of stuck in their ways, and you just kind of gotta move along as it go. In particular, there was one person. Not gonna get into too much detail, but they will no longer be saying prayers in my house. One thing about me, I don't play about prayer. For those who don't know, I do go to church. I do go to church quite often, and I go to church by myself. Cause I take my spiritual beliefs very seriously. And so when people are praying, I don't like when people are playing with prayer, especially when it's saying something that's kind of negative or nasty. That's just something that I just don't have the capacity to deal with. I don't play with God, and you're not gonna play in God in my household, and you're not gonna disrespect anybody in my household. So with that being said, they would just not be able to say prayers, and that's one thing about you as well. When you have your home warming or when you want to have family events and stuff like that, if your family ain't worth a damn, you ain't gotta put up with them. I'll be the first to tell you that. I don't know what your therapist gonna say, but me personally, I feel like you shouldn't have to put up with nobody who don't give a fuck about you. Okay? Sorry about that F word, the F bomb I just dropped. I'm trying to work on not cussing. That's something I'm trying to work on. Sometimes I'm just quite passionate. I can't help myself. But like get in the habit of putting yourself in groups where people actually care for you and actually love you. And if you don't have that one, girl, come over here. We got a big family coming right now. This the family that's starting. So if you need somebody, shit, I'm here. But yeah, like get in the habit of just surround yourself with people who actually care. Find you a family or create your own family and push those values out. Another big thing about me is I'm not big on holding any type of traditions in my family that don't involve that don't how can I put that don't have no background in character. I don't want to do any traditions that I feel like degrade others in our family or just don't have a real sense of what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a thing in our family where it's like the eldest has to pray, like the oldest person in the family. And now I'm kind of starting to see like no, I feel like everybody should pray. We should have some of the younger kids in our family start praying, practicing prayer, starting practicing what they believe. Even if it's not prayer, but starting to practice their own beliefs because it's one thing to be told to do something and then it's another to actually go on that spiritual journey on your own or whatever religious journey that you want to go on to. So that's another thing that I've kind of just having my dinner and just kind of seeing how my family would traditionally do it and how I would do it is a little different. So yeah. But I mean, outside of that, it was very nice. I was so happy that everybody left. Oh my god. No offense, but hosting is a lot. And shout out to my aunt. My aunt cleaned my whole kitchen for me. Um and that actually meant a lot to me because I was struggling. I was like, dang, I gotta put up all these tables. I gotta drop the tables back at the rental company. I have to go ahead and what was the other thing I had to do? I had to get the tables, all the chairs back up, get the kitchen cleaned up, make sure everybody got plates to go. That is a lot. That is really a lot for just anybody to have to do. And for her just to clean up the kitchen, and my dad and my uncle, they made sure to put all the tables and the chairs in my trunk for me. Um, I'm just so thankful. So if I haven't told you yet, thank you 1,000 and more. And also etiquette for housewarmings. Let me tell you something. I would never show up to anybody's event anymore empty-handed. Um, and this is based off my hosting experience. I don't care if I'm bringing a card, a thing of wine, whatever it is, I'm going to show up with something because I don't think people understand how much the host is putting on and how much that person has to take on to make sure these events go well. Because a lot of times, people who are who are hosting, they feel like they're being used. And so, if I could just do something small, like bring a little gift basket, I would make sure to do that. So that's one thing I also said I wanted to do. Um, and also around this time, I did say that I was going back to therapy. For those who don't know, I've been going to therapy since. How long have I been going to therapy, Bree? I want to say since 2021 is when I started going to therapy, and it's 2025. That's insane. That's insane. I've been going to therapy for a while. um, it is one of the best things I've ever done. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna say like I had a whole bunch of trauma or anything, but I also understood that now that I'm getting older, I need to handle things a certain way. For those who don't know, I do have anxiety. I've always been kind of like an anxious person and a hyper vigilant person, and that's just because I grew up with two parents who had to survive. So naturally, their survival instincts or just trying to survive day to day life, I have had to pick up. And which is good and bad, but I shouldn't have had to pick up those bad habits. I don't want to call them bad habits, but I picked up their behavior patterns. If that makes more sense, I picked up their behavior patterns when I didn't have to grow up like that. If that makes like we had, don't get me wrong, it was hard times growing up, but as an adult now, it's no reason why I still have the survival mindset and that like I'm surviving. Um, I don't know if I can explain that. I might have to go into another episode where I talk about that. But yeah, it was always nice talking to my therapist. We caught up, we talked about my home warming, and it made me understand that it's certain things in my life that are still that need a little bit more healing. So yeah. You gotta love when you realize that that childhood definitely has an effect of how you come out as an adult. And that's all right. You know, as long as you continue to try to grow. And one thing about the healing journey, you're never done healing. So let me just put that out there as well. Also Memorial Day weekend, I went to Lay or AKA Big Lay content creator event, which was so fun. I think it's called the Next Wave Raleigh. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry, Lay girl. You know I love you. But yes, I had a wonderful time. Um Dang, it was so fun. So I think like we started off at Glow Fitness. Yeah, we started off at Glow Fitness. They had a panel. I think it was only one person on that panel. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. They had a panel up there. They spoke. They was just talking about like being a content creator, being motivated, how to batch content. I thought it was a very good beginners class. They didn't talk anything about like monetization or like that, but they were mainly focused on making sure people get the content out there. And I think that would have been so awesome for me, even for me, probably like 2 years ago, because I felt like there wasn't enough content creators, especially in the area of like Raleigh, Greensboro, Durham. Like I didn't know nobody who was making content. It was more so like you knew people on the internet who was making content, but you didn't know nobody locally. And with her event, she kind of just put them all in the same room. And I got to meet some of the most dopest people ever, who have their own platform, who could share like their own journey. I have a couple people who's supposed to be coming on my podcast. I think I got Jazz said she wanted to come. Of course, Lay said she wanted to come. Who else? Dang, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to shout everybody out, but when the camera in front of you, you be forgetting. So my bad. So yeah. Then that's all that happened last weekend. This week, your girl is going to Atlanta. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to go to Atlanta. So I'm gonna do a road trip probably to Charlotte. Dang, should I do a vlog about that? I might have to do that. So I'm going to Charlotte, and then from Charlotte to Atlanta, I think it's like 3 hours or something like that. So I think I'm about to do a little day trip in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? You fuck with me? We might have to see how that hit it on. So yeah, that's what I plan on doing. I might have to also hit up the mall because I really don't have much to wear. I mean, I got some chill clothes. I don't know. That's if I even stay in Atlanta. I might just go down Atlanta, vibe, and then kill my butt home. Because one thing, I love Atlanta, but I don't like staying in Atlanta, if that makes sense. Is that shady? I hope that's not shady. Um, but yeah, that's how my week is going. Please tell me how y'all week is going. Put it down in the comments. I'm always so curious about what other people got going on in their life. I'm really life nosy. If you ain't got nobody to talk to, girl, talk to me. Girl, we're friends. Like, what are we talking about? Ooh, also, talk about mini road trips. Coming in July, there's Black Boat Week. I will be there. I will be there. Also, I will be at Caribbean Mass in Raleigh this year. I was already in it last year, but this year I think I'm gonna go with Ultra Mass Band. I think that's what it's called. I gotta go ahead and put my little funds down, my little registry fee. I haven't paid yet, but I will. So we're gonna make sure we get that done as well. Now, talk about being all sexy, being all womanly. We're gonna talk about my question that I asked. I posed on Instagram. Where's my phone? Cause I'm really finna pull this out. So on Instagram, I asked, "What does womanhood mean?" And I was just trying to see like how everybody feel on that. Like, cause everybody talks about being a woman, being a woman, being a woman, but like, what is womanhood to you? Particularly, that's what I'm asking. Not what is a woman, but what is womanhood to you? And while I was at the AC Hotel trying to find myself under some mimosas, okay, a young lady had told me, she said womanhood is sacrifice. And I thought it was very interesting that she said that. She was like, coming from being a wife, being a mom, once you own those titles in womanhood, you have to realize that you will sacrifice a lot. You sacrifice your body when having children. Um, and I was like, dang, like she was very deep with it, and I hadn't even thought about it. Another woman had said strength is womanhood. Like you have to be strong to be able to carry on other people's burdens, but to also nurture people as well. My version of womanhood is being able to mother your inner child self while also being accepting to life around you. So I always talk about like you got to know how to mother yourself, parent yourself, be gentle with yourself, but also being able to be gentle with others. I think that's particularly women, or people who identify as women. Um, and that's what I see womanhood as. So if you could tell me what you see womanhood as, you could DM me at Young and Uncertain Podcast, or Young and I mean, dang, I don't even know my own ad name. Say less and read. You could definitely tell me about that. And I just thought it was very interesting. And I've been asking myself that a lot lately because I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm just now hitting womanhood. Like, at the age of 28, I just now feel like I'm hitting womanhood now. And life looks so much different. I don't know, it's that frontal lobe developing. I think it's that. So, or been developing. It's just like you think about things a little bit more. Like, what is womanhood? What does it mean to me? And how am I adding to womanhood? I don't know. So yeah, y'all tell me how y'all feel about that. Um, what else? What are we going to do? Ooh, this is my other one. Okay. So, recently I have been seeing a lot of creators on TikTok and Instagram talk about how they're in their solo era, or they just trying to do things more solo. And I how can I pose this? And I want to know, is it truly that people are in their solo quote unquote era, or they're in isolation? It's a big difference in my opinion. I have solo days. I don't call them solo dates. I think that's like a big thing right now on social media, is that like everything is like a solo date. But like I do things solo because I actually enjoy my company. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm going out solo, it's not because I'm just strictly being by myself. 9 out of 10, if I'm just coming in solo, it might be like I might go to a bar. But 9 out of 10, when I go to the bar, I probably know people there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna have a good time. Or if I'm eating out by myself. Um, that is a different season than the isolation season. Solo dates is for every day. Let me say that. Just being solo, that's just a everything thing. You should get in the habit of really honing in on enjoying yourself, or understanding why you don't enjoy yourself. Okay? And then isolation is just a period where you're just strictly focused on one thing, whether that's religious beliefs, or just you just want to be solo because you want to be isolated because of bad friendships or family or whatever the case may be. That's a whole nother path. Okay. And then a whole another thing is just like I feel like the solo kind of wave is kind of putting people in like oh, the reason why I don't do nothing, or the reason why I do things solo is because I don't have nobody to do it with. Girl, no. Do things by yourself because you should do things by yourself. Okay. Prime example, me. I have been traveling solo now for, let's see here, since 2020, give or take. My very first solo vacation was to New Orleans. I gifted that to myself. Um, I wanted to go to New Orleans because I really love the idea of history. New Orleans has a lot of history. I wanted to go to the House of Hoodoo. Um, it was like attractions that I wanted to do, and I didn't want to experience that with nobody else but me. Also, just the caveat off of that a little bit more, I don't like waiting on people. Like that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I cannot stand waiting for people, and I don't like when people are late. One thing about me, when I want to go to a certain event, I want to be there at a certain time, especially if I'm excited about it. Bitch, I'm there early. I want to be there. So, I started out in New Orleans, and before you know it, I was going to Puerto Rico, then Jamaica, then Puerto Rico again. Then I went to Miami. Then I went to, where did I go? Where did I go after that? I went some other places. That's because I actually enjoy what I'm going to do. Y'all just be isolated, just be isolated. And that is not healthy. Go seek a therapist. Let me say that one more time. Go seek a therapist. Let me say that one more time. Go seek a damn therapist. Isolation is not good for long periods of time. Okay? It is meant to be a season, not a lifestyle. Solo is just you being with you, getting to know you. Okay? Um, because I see a lot of misinformation out there, and I had to say that. I seen a young lady's video. She was talking about being solo, and I'm just like, girl, you're just in your room 24/8, depressed. You look like you have what they call high function depression. I don't have to be a therapist to know that. I ain't got to have no clinical degree to know that. You need help. So yeah. But yeah, get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. Get to know new people. Go out by yourself. I love traveling by myself. Um, like I said, I plan on going to Caribbean Mass, which is in Raleigh, by myself. I'm going to Black Boat Week by myself. Do I know people out there? Yes, of course. Do I plan on being social while I'm out there? Yes, of course. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do things solo and not talk to nobody. You know? And if you're not a very sociable person, that's all right. Practice your social skills because you actually need them. Okay? Okay. And if you, like I said, if you need somebody to talk to me, girl. I'm always down to talk. I'm always down for a good little chit chat. Girl, I'm yapping to y'all like it's somebody in the room. That's how much I love you, friend. Come on, girl. So yeah, that's a little something. And now we're gonna close this episode out. I said I wasn't gonna make this episode too long. Cause like I said, I gotta head my ass to Charlotte. By the time y'all see this, I'll probably be in Atlanta. Yeah, I'll probably be in Atlanta. But right now I just need to get to Charlotte. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna play a little kick like game. Let's see what we got here. It says, let's end on something light. Okay. Songs that describe your current mood. Ooh. What's my song right now? Bia, Let's Go. I think that's what it's called. I think that's my song. No. I take that back. I take that back. It's definitely going to have to be No Sweat by Key Glock. I love me some Key Glock. Oh my God. I'm not going to try to talk about him too much because I know somebody going to be looking like, why the fuck you acting like that for Key Glock? Because I like Key Glock. His music is good. Now, I ain't gonna say that. Anyway, coffee or tea? I am a tea person. I love green tea. I love peppermint tea. I love black tea. Those are some of my favorite teas. I cannot get into ginger tea. Sorry, I got something in my eye, y'all. I can't really get into ginger tea, y'all. A book that changed my life. I actually posted this on my TikTok. Not on my TikTok. I actually posted this on my Instagram. And I think I only had one person that responded because y'all niggas don't read. Now, when I posted that other little questionnaire, y'all answered it. I need y'all to start reading. I need to make an episode about like just reading and the importance of making sure that we are holding ourselves accountable and teaching each other how to read if we don't know how to read. And if you do know how to read, exercise your God-given right and read a book. Okay. Books that have changed my life though. Currently I'm reading The Artist's Way. I'm on chapter 5. Um, if it wasn't for The Artist's Way, I probably wouldn't be on this couch right here, yapping y'all ear off right now. It's definitely changed my life. It makes me want to create art. It wants to make me to create. A lot of people don't know this. I don't know if should I say this. A lot of people don't know. I talk a lot of shit, and because I used to talk a lot of shit, I used to have a teacher in high school. She said you have a way of like being able to cuss in a certain way or be able to anger people in a certain way. Why don't you start writing poetry? And at first I was just like, nah, I don't think not. And then I did start. And then I started sharing my poetry. And I remember one time it had one of my poems was really, really good. It had got to like I think the superintendent of what was his name? Mo Green. I think that's what his name was. He had actually seen it. And it was supposed to be like a show that he was trying to put me in, and I hopped out of there. But yeah, I never actually kind of do a little poetry. One day I said I'm gonna do like a spoken word. We'll see. I gotta. We'll see. I haven't did one in a long time, but yeah, I used to write poems. I used to do a lot of spoken word events. Shout out to her. R.I.P. to her. But yeah, yeah, that's so funny. I just thought about that. What's a silly fear that you have? I really don't fear anything. Really, I don't really fear anything. I don't have like no fears. I'm like trail like that. That's that survivor in me. I ain't scared of none. Um, unless it's a gun, but a gun ain't silly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Childhood dream job. Ooh, I used to want to be a fashion designer. Oh my god. I used to really want a fashion designer. If I wasn't a fashion designer, what was my other dream? I always said I wanted to be like a CEO of some type of company. Who knows? I might actually be that. But yeah, I used to want to be a fashion designer as a kid. What's your guilty pleasure show and movie or movie? Guilty pleasure show or movie? For one, I typically only watch anime. So I typically watch like Crunchyroll and stuff like that. Now, I haven't been watching much TV. It's just because I just don't watch TV. Like I just I'm not one of the people. I am an iPad kid. I'm not looking at anything outside of that. Now something that I found recently that is like kind of guilty is like when I'm on social media and I see like the recaps of like baddies and what's the other show? I think it's called Baddies. I can't remember the other one, but it's a girl. Her name is Billy. Hold on, I gotta put the iPad down because I need y'all to really understand. It's this girl. Her name is Billy. Now, mind you, we from the same city. She is from the 336, just like I'm from the 336. But like when I tell you she got a set of hands you ain't never seen before, I'm talking about will really park your ass if you ever try her. And like the best way if I can insert a picture, I will. She's a beautiful girl, by the way, but she is built like not even no funny shit. Like she is built like Mark Henry. She's a beautiful girl, but like you could tell, like her hands is probably a size of a ugg. Like she get down. She do not fucking play. And I seen her like I didn't know that she could run real good. Not trying to be funny, but you just gotta see the scene. It's a scene where this girl is like trucking behind this girl and this knocked her upside her head. And when I found that out, I was like, ooh, okay, I might have to stay on this little wisdom, them little shade room pages where they put all the highlights of the fights. I low key be watching them from time to time. That's probably like my only little guilty pleasure that I do. Outside of that, I don't watch much reality TV. I've never been a fan of reality TV. That's been my mom's thing. My mom loves reality TV. I don't like it. Um, but yeah, that's like my only little guilty pleasure. Like every now and again, if I'm scrolling social media, if I hop on Facebook real quick, I'll be like, "How do okay?" And I only keep up. And that's another thing. I need to delete Facebook, but that's where all my family and classmates that I went to school with, all my military friends, they are all on there, and they post the most ratchetest, raunchiest stuff all the time. I really need to just go ahead and discard that. I don't Ooh, excuse me. I don't really have that problem on TikTok and Instagram. My Instagram is very positive. My TikTok it's ever since that little shutdown, my algorithm ain't never been the same. TikTok, you need to tighten up. But yeah, and then YouTube has always been positive. Like all I have on YouTube is workout videos and all my favorites on there. So yeah. Well, that was so fun. Look, we made it to 30 minutes. That was my goal for the day. I'm so happy that you was able to watch and listen to my video. If you like videos like this, please subscribe. Not only can you subscribe, you can like. Not only you can like, you can share. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in to the Young and Uncertain. Yay! Hey! Woo! All right, let me get on this road.